So however you find yourself in a comfortable seat, could be crisscross, it could be legs out. You can sit on something. So I have a yoga block, but I also have a nice thick book. So you can also sit on a book or a couple books instead of a block. So however you find yourself in a comfortable seated position, go ahead and find that. And just gently close your eyes, if that feels okay. See if you can just notice your breath. Notice it moving in and out through your nose. And notice if you already started to slow your breath down a little bit. And then see if you can just notice your shoulders and if they're up towards your ears a little bit, or maybe folding, they're a little hunched in towards your heart, protecting the heart a little bit. And we'll take a full breath in through the nose, and we'll let it all out through the mouth. Do 2 more. Nice big breath in through the nose and out through the mouth. 1 last full breath in and out through the mouth. And with the eyes closed, allowing the breath to move in and out through the nose. Inhaling deep into the belly and exhaling completely. Inhaling, and with your exhalation, seeing if you can soften all the little tiny muscles in the face. See if you can relax right between the eyebrows. It's the spot where we tend to hold our worries, our anxiety, and our concerns. And seeing if with each exhalation you can just create a little more space there between the eyebrows. And then relaxing the jaw, maybe letting the tongue release from the roof of the mouth. Allowing the shoulders to soften away from the ears. Still breathing. And seeing what it would feel like if you could really root down your seat. And as you root down your seat, seeing if you can grow a little bit taller. So reaching the crown of your head up towards the sky, like there's a string attached to the very top of your head, and it's lengthening you up. And then seeing if you can maybe bring your chin a little more parallel to the ground, or maybe a little slightly tucked to open up the back of the neck. Seeing if you can maybe bring those shoulder blades just a little teeny tiny bit, wrapping around the spine a little tiny bit to feel that heart start to open up. Inhaling and noticing how the chest expands and the rib cage expands as you inhale. And as you exhale, it slides back. Maybe setting an intention for your practice this evening. It could be for you. It could be for the world, someone else, maybe something you need. Visualizing that intention in your mind's eye. See if you can take that intention and place it right on your heart. And maybe taking the hands across the heart and sealing that intention with a full deep breath in and a full breath out. And then allowing the hands to float down by your sides. Bring your chin down towards your chest and draw the shoulders away from the ears. The eyes can still be closed if you want. Breathing into the back of the neck and into the shoulders. And then starting to roll the head over to the right until the ear is parallel to the shoulder. And if you want to, you could take the right fingertips to the left temple and give that neck a little extra stretch. So pain is definitely a sign to stop. We can use gravity here. You don't really have to pull the head. Just letting the hands rest on the temple will be just enough. And if you want a little bit more, you can actually reach the left fingertips out into a diagonal. Breathing into the neck. And then releasing the hands, drawing the chin down towards the chest, inhaling. And as you exhale, roll it over to the left. Creating still space between the left ear and the left shoulder, so drawing the shoulders away, breathing into the right side of the neck. And if you want, you could bring those fingertips to the temple, so left fingertips to the temple. Let gravity open up that right side of the neck, and if you want a little more, you can reach the right fingertips into that diagonal. And then when you're ready, slowly releasing the hands, drawing the chin down towards the chest one last time, and then bringing the crown of the head back up skyward. And sweeping the arms up, taking a full breath in, let those palms touch overhead. And as you exhale, we'll bring the hands right down into heart center, pressing the thumbs into the heart to roll the shoulders back and down, interlacing the fingers. And then we're going to flip them inside out. So pressing the palms forward. And as we do that, I'm just going to come to the side so you can see. As we do that, we're going to round like a cat. So tucking the chin, let those shoulders come all the way up to the ears. And then inhale as you lengthen up. The palms are skyward and the belly and the chest and the heart and maybe even the throat are opening up towards the sky. And then exhale and round like your cat. Inhale to rise up, full breath all the way to the top. Exhale to round. One more big breath. And then exhale to round. And you can pause here, and I love to kind of create a little space in the side bodies by rocking side to side, breathing into the side. And then inhale to rise back up for a neutral spine. Let the arms float behind the back. One arm circle back, coming up high on the fingertips. And then the other arm comes back high on the fingertips. Press the fingertips into the ground to lift the heart up to the sky. Open up the heart, the throat, take a full breath in, pinch those shoulder blades together. Full breath. And a full breath out. And then slowly release. We'll start to walk the hands out. So glue your seat to your mat or the floor, whatever you're on, and start to walk the palms out and allow the forehead to come down. So if there's a big old space like I have, you can always take a block or a book under the forehead and take a few rounds of breath there, allowing the body to surrender. Seeing if with each exhalation you can let go a little bit more. And then using the hands to walk back up, coming back to your seat. And if your legs are crisscross, just switch your crisscross the other way. Taking a full breath to sweep the arms up, full breath, palms touch. And we're twisting on the way down. Exhale to twist. I'm twisting to my right. It doesn't really matter. Hand to knee. Inhale to lift. Exhale to twist. And I think we did this on Monday. I've been doing this a lot virtually. We're going to do a little eye stretch, a little eye exercise. So bringing the chin past the shoulder and then reaching those eyes really far back. Look way back at your back wall. Open the eyes really wide and start to move the eyes around in the eye socket, stretching the eyes. So it's really good because of all of the screens we've been looking at lately. And then release the eyes, let them track back, and then we'll let the chin track back and unwind the spine. Inhale to sweep the arms up. And then exhale, twist the other way. Track the chin over the shoulder. And then track the eyes all the way back to that back wall. Open the eyes wide and move those eyes around the eye sockets. And then track the eyes back, track the chin back, unwind the spine. Inhale to sweep the arms up. And exhale, bringing those hands behind the back, interlacing the fingers, stretch the knuckles down towards your mat or ground. So my hands are interlaced, reaching down, knuckles down towards the ground. You can stay right here, or if you want a little more neck, you can bring your chin down and roll the head side to side. If you want more shoulders, you can start to reach those arms up overhead. Taking a full breath in and a full breath out. And slowly release. Releasing the arms down. One hand comes down, reaching up and over. Find all that length in the left side body, but also in this right side body too. Trying to not collapse there. So finding some integrity there and reaching, finding length in both sides. That hand that's up in the air, we're going to take it down, pressing both hands into the ground. And start to reach your forehead down towards your knee. So rounding the spine, more importantly, pressing the palms away from the earth and grounding, this would be my left sit bone, down into the mat to open up that low back. And then inhale to open wide, retrace those steps, let that heart shine through. Inhale up, exhale, reaching right over to the left. I'm on my left. Finding length in this side body, taking a full breath right there. And then that hand that's up in the air, we're going to take it all the way down, square off, try to get your forehead to your knee, press away from the palms, ground your right sit bone, breathe. And then inhale to retrace your steps. And then coming right onto hands and knees. Blocks in the front. And when you're ready, we're going to move snake. Well, when I teach kids, I say snake to mouse. So it's like a cobra back towards a child's pose. So it's an inhale, moving forward. So this can be as big or as small as you want. Let the heart come through, open up the heart, the chest, the throat. Exhale, press back towards your child's pose. Taking a few out with your own breath. Inhale, pressing those hips forward. Open up the heart and chest. Exhale to press back. If you want to get a little more stretch in the feet, you can tuck the toes under. You won't quite feel it when you're coming forward, but when you go back towards that child's pose, really press into the balls of the feet. Inhale as you press forward. Exhale, moving all the way back. So seeing if you can link your movements with breath. Inhaling all the way forward. Exhaling all the way back. We'll take one more and we'll meet in a child's pose. Couple variations for child's pose. You can bring those knees nice and wide, big toes touch, your traditional child's pose. Starting to open up the hips and the low back. And because that's our goal, is to open up the hips and the low back, a different option for child's pose might be bringing the feet nice and wide on your bottom and just letting your heart come through here. You'll still feel it in your low back and your hips. So if child's pose isn't a great posture for you today, you can try a seated child's pose. You can also, if you're feeling it in your knees or your feet, or your hips, you can sit on a book or a block. That could help too. Or a blanket under the feet. Not in a traditional studio together, so I can't come around and tuck you in, but if I could, you know I would. Breathing here, last 2 rounds of breath. And then when you're ready, inhale to rise up. We'll bring those knees wherever you are, under your hips, hands under shoulders. Tuck your toes and bring the knees to a hover. We're going to start to engage the core here. So keeping the spine nice and neutral. So you'll start to feel it in the core. You should. Keeping those knees in a hover. Draw the navel up behind the rib cage. We're going to create a little bit of fire here for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Release the knees down. Take a big breath in and a big breath out. When you're ready, engage your core. Draw your navel up behind your rib cage. Pick those knees up to a hover, and then a little gentle rocks front and back for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Great job. Untuck the toes, sit back, child's pose. Take a big breath in and a big breath out. One last breath here. We're going to get ready to come forward and get ready for your downward facing dog. So bend, tuck your toes, pressing back, downward facing dog. And when you arrive, bending a knee and straightening a knee and warming up that back side. We'll do a little body scan here in your downward facing dog. Fingers are spread wide without overextending, so you have to find your sweet spot. In my body, I really like to grip the fingertips to take a little pressure off of the wrists. Drawing the shoulders away from the ears. A little slight tuck of the chin to lengthen the back of the neck, reaching the crown of the head down towards your earth. Navel's drawing up behind the rib cage, and the rib cage is knitted together. Easy to let that belly kind of hang out and the ribs to flare out. See if you can kind of draw that in. Thinking about reaching your hips up towards the sky. And the hamstrings are lengthening as you reach your heels down towards the earth. They may never touch, and that's fine. If downward facing dog is not a resting posture for you, or it makes you feel like you're going to pass out, you can always come to your table or a puppy pose by lengthening the arms out nice and long and the hips go skyward. So those are a couple variations for downward facing dog. And then when you're ready, we'll take our feet as wide as the mat, or wider, really wide. When you're ready, you can rock those hips side to side, like you're wagging your tail. And then start to walk the hands to the feet. Walking the hands to the feet. Bending the knees as much as you need to. We'll go ahead and grab those ankles if that's available. You can always grab those thighs, coming to a table, especially if you get lightheaded when you fold forward. Or if you don't like it at all, just stand straight up. If you're with me, grabbing the ankles, maybe shake the head yes. And maybe shake the head no. Again, the knees can be as bent as you need them to be. You want to think about comfort here-ish, comfort-ish. Thinking about seeing if you can relax into this posture, this inversion, to allow the stress and tension from the neck and the shoulders to pour out through the neck, through the crown of the head. Let it go. And then when you're ready, bending those knees really deep and bringing the hands to the hips, thumbs in the hip creases, forefingers on your backside. Press the feet into the ground to rise up. Good. And if you feel a little lightheaded, you can squeeze those legs together and get the blood flow back up towards the brain. And then when you're ready, we're going to take a Tadasana. I hate to have my side to you, but it's going to have to be. Tadasana, ankles to touch, roll the shoulders away from the ears. Crown of the head is reaching up towards the sky, so feeling rooted and grounded through the soles of the feet. And the heart lifts, the shoulders are away from the ears. And when you're ready, we'll take a full breath in, reaching those arms up, gazing up at the hands, and then exhale, bring your hands through your third eye, through your heart center, all the way to the earth. Tuck the chin. Inhale, rise up to a flat back, nice long spine, like it's a table. Exhale to fold. Hands plant down, and we'll step back, downward facing dog. Take a big breath in and a big breath out. And we'll go over a vinyasa. Vinyasa means flow. Inhaling, riding the breath forward for plank. We'll do a modified version first. Legs are super strong here. You can drop the knees. The chin and chest are going to come to the mat. The elbows raise the side bodies. Come all the way down. Inhale, press your feet into the ground to lift up for a baby cobra. And then exhale, we're pressing all the way back to your dog. And then just for good measure, I'd like to go over a vinyasa with a chaturanga and an up dog. So chaturanga is halfway down. Inhale, ride the breath forward for plank. Halfway down, the elbows are never going to go past the ribs. Halfway down. Inhale, the pelvis doesn't touch down for up dog. Shoulders away from the ears, tops of the feet are pressing into the mat. Roll over those toesies and press back, downward facing dog. Taking a full breath in and a full breath out. Right leg reaches skyward, kneecap facing down towards your mat. Left heel should still be reaching. Notice if your ribs and your core let go. Bring those ribs together and then step that right foot all the way up in between the hands, and we'll spin our back foot flat. So build your foundation first. You want to make sure that your feet are still hip distance apart so that you're not on a tight rope, like you're balancing on a tight rope. And then your shoulders are towards your front side of your mat. Inhale to rise up. Press into this back foot to rise up. Warrior one, sinking into that right knee. Shoulders towards your front wall. Inhale to lengthen up. Exhale to deepen. And the legs are really active here. You want to act as if you're going to split your mat right in half. Lifting the heart, take a full breath in and a full breath out. Arms float behind the back, interlacing the fingers. Coming to your humble warrior, glide the knuckles down towards the earth. Inhale to lift the heart, and you can stay right here, or if you like to fold forward, fold right to the inside of that right thigh. Still pressing both feet evenly into the ground. Wringing out the shoulders, relax the neck, still breathing. 5, 4, 3, 2. Use the hands to rise back up. Inhale. Release the arms, sweep the arms up. And then exhale, bowing forward over the right thigh, spin the left heel skyward. If you'd like to take a vinyasa, you can. If you don't want to, you can step right to downward facing dog. If you're flowing with me, step your right foot to meet the left for plank. Fire up those legs, halfway down, chaturanga. Inhale for an up dog. Exhale, roll over your toesies, press back, downward facing dog. Full breath in through the nose and out through the mouth. One more, big breath in through the nose and out through the mouth. Left leg reaches high behind you, three-legged dog, kneecap facing down towards your mat. Full breath in. Exhale, use your core, step it up. Build your foundation first. Spin your right heel down. Inhale to rise. Sinking into that left knee this time. Breathing here. Heart lifts. Arms, hands active. Hands float behind the back. Interlace the fingers. Humble warrior. Let the knuckles glide down. Reach the heart up to the sky. Exhale to fold. Again, if you feel lightheaded, stand up. Press the feet into the ground. Think about that back foot. Use your back foot to rise back up. Reach those arms skyward. Full breath. Exhale to lengthen out over left thigh, hands float down. Spin the right heel skyward, vinyasa if you want to. Halfway down. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, roll back over toes, downward facing dog. Taking a full breath in and a full breath out. Gazing at the hands, walk or jump the tootsies to the top. Inhale for a flat back, nice long spine. Exhale to fold. Inhale, reverse swan dive all the way to the top. Inhale, inhale, inhale. Exhale, bowing forward through your third eye, through your heart to the earth. Inhale for a flat back, nice long spine. Exhale to fold. Stepping back plank or downward facing dog. I'm going to modify this time. So you can go between modifying and skipping them and doing a full vinyasa. It's whatever you're listening to your body. So lowering the knees to modify, elbows graze. Inhale for a baby cobra. Exhale, release. Pressing back, downward facing dog. Right leg reaches skyward. And then exhale, step it through. Going right to your warrior one. And then inhale, turn at the waist, warrior two. I always have to bring my feet a little bit wider for my warrior two. I'm gonna make sure my blocks are ready. So sinking here, shoulders and hips are in a nice square. This back leg, left leg is really strong. Bending into this right knee, trying to get that right knee over the right ankle. Check in. You want to make sure that your hip, knee, ankle, and toes are in a nice line there. Strong arms. Wonderful. Big breath in and out. Start to straighten out that right knee, but we're going to keep a little micro bend there. We don't want to lock them out. Inhale to glide the rib cage. Find all this length here in this side body. Excuse me. And then see if you can hinge right there. Keep the length, keep the length. There you are, triangle. Or you can always use a block or a book, but still trying to keep this length here. It is very easy to kind of collapse here, and then you lose this little triangle here. So seeing if you can find that integrity, and then spin that heart up towards the sky, open it up, roll the left hip open. Full breath and out. And then inhale to lift. We'll bend back into it. Windmill those hands all the way down. Left heel spins skyward, and we're just going to lower that left knee down. Lengthen the top of the left foot. Here's where I love my blocks and my books. For some Anjaneyasana work, hands to blocks or books if you want them. Take a big breath in, exhale to glide those hips forward. If you have really open hips and you can hang here, squeeze your hips together and lift up a little tiny bit. Start to strengthen those hips up as opposed to opening them up. So you can play with that a little bit. Seeing if you can lift the heart a little bit, open the throat, open the eyes, gazing up. And then exhale, coming back. We're going to shift back a little bit. I like to shimmy my toe a little bit, my foot a little bit forward, dig the heel in, straighten out that right knee. You can see me. And then think about this left hip. The left hip wants to creep on open. We're going to keep it facing down, down, down. If you want more, start to reach over towards your knee. And you can also play with the toes here with the foot. So you can put it down and see what it does to the front of that right ankle. And you can flip those right toesies up. Notice what that does to the back side of that right leg. And then when you're ready, we'll scooch that foot back to center. Tuck your back toesies under to lift. Stepping downward facing dog or plank. I'll modify this time again. Lowering the knees, chin and chest. Inhale, cobra. Exhale, pressing back. So even if you modify, you're still going to build strength. And it is so important to modify when you find that your body's getting a little bit tired. When we're tired, our risk for injury goes up. Left leg lift, please. Exhale, step through. Setting up Virabhadrasana 1, warrior 1. Right heel spins flat. Press into the feet to lift. Inhale. Exhale to open wide. Virabhadrasana 2. My back's to you, and I'm just going to switch around. I like to bring my feet nice and wide here. So we're on our second side. Left leg is in the front. Hip, ankle, knee, hip, knee, ankle, toes in a nice line. Check those hips. You can, if you look at me, you can see that my hips are not square. This right hip is lifted up. I'm gonna whoop, and then bring the shoulders and the hips, then sink. Shoot the energy from the heart center, reach wide. Settle here. Inhale to start to straighten that left knee. Exhale completely. Inhale to glide the rib cage. Find that length. Reach as far as you can. And then tip. Triangle. You can see my triangle here. Open up the heart. Rotate it up towards the sky. Rotate that right hip open. Inhale to lift. Exhale to bend into the knee. Windmill the hands all the way down. Right foot shoots sky, right heel rather, skyward, lower right knee down. Getting ready for Anjaneyasana, second side. If you want your blocks or your books, take a full breath in, and as you exhale, glide those hips forward, open it up. Again, if you have those open hips, like ballerinas, you want to come up out of it a little bit, just tighten up those hips a little bit. And then when you're ready, shift back, scooch that left foot forward a little bit, dig the heel, check your hips. You want to make sure that the right hip is facing down, and dig the heel, toes lift. Work the left hip back, right hip forward. If you want more, try to get that nose to your knee and still. So sometimes our nose comes to the knee and then whoop, the right hip goes open. Work that hip down. And then if you played with your foot on the first side, lower the toes. So keep those hips square, it's hard. And then bring those left toes up, it is for my body. Bring it down and up. Still breathing here. And then when you're ready, we'll bring that foot back to center. Tuck your back toes under. We will lift back knee up. Your last vinyasa, if you choose to take it. Stepping. Legs are super strong. That is the trick here. Take some pressure off those arms and shoulders. Halfway down for chaturanga. Inhale. Tops of the feet press into the mat. Lift. Exhale. Downward facing dog. And then when you're ready, this time we'll glide forward. Ride the breath forward for plank. And we're going to lower all the way down to the belly and take rest. Hands can come under forehead and take a little break. Let me switch myself back to the other side of the mat. When you're ready, we'll take bow pose. So bow pose, we're going to do 2 sets because there are 5,000 variations to bow pose. The first option is the traditional, you can grab both feet and lift. We'll do it all together. That's your first one. You want to grab the outsides of the feet, bring those knees together. If you have a sensitive back, we'll let you bring those legs a little bit wider. If not, squeeze those legs together. Another option is to bend the knees and reach towards the feet and lift and try to lift those thighs up. That's going to be a little bit more of strengthening as opposed to the first one where you're actually grabbing and you're working on a little more flexibility. Third option would be to grab one foot at a time, other arm lengthens out, press the arm into the ground, and then kick that foot up. And then on the second set, we'll just switch feet. So take a second, think about what you're going to choose. And then when you're ready, assume your position, bend the knees, grab the tootsies, or reach towards them, or grab one, or reach towards one. When you're ready, inhale to peel up, face, shoulders, heart. Exhale, maybe those thighs lift. Working those knees together. They want to go way apart. Keep them together, lift. 3, 2, and 1. Lower. We're going to do a second set. If you did one leg, please switch. If you held onto your feet, maybe try not holding your feet. That's what I'll do. When you're ready, assume your position. Inhale, lift, face, shoulders, heart. Exhale, thighs, if they go anywhere. Lifting and breathing. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. And then when you're ready, we'll press all the way back. Child's pose should feel lovely on that low back. Or whatever child's pose you have tonight, whatever child's pose you're taking. And then walking the hands back towards the knees. We'll let those legs come out. If you like to rock and roll on your spine, if that feels good to you, go ahead and take a little rock and roll back massage. And then we'll lie all the way down, holding onto the knees, taking the knees in a circle around the sacrum, that flat bone at the base of the spine. Should feel good. And then going in the opposite direction. This can be as big or as small as you would like. If it hurts, don't do it. Do a little more hip work, opening up the hips. Because I'm not there with you and we don't have all of the props that we have in a yoga studio, we're going to take a supine pigeon, but feel free if you love pigeon and you practice it all the time and you want to hit a regular pigeon, go ahead. But for my friends who are following along, we're going to take right leg across the left thigh. A supine pigeon. Left leg reaches skyward, so you look like an upside down 4. Right arm goes through the legs. And we're going to try to grab a hold of that hamstring, left hamstring. Start to bend the left knee until the left toes fall out of sight. And as you exhale, start to draw the thigh in. As you do that, notice if your back starts to lift up, ground down your low back, specifically that right side because you're pulling it in, or because it's kind of lifted, it starts to rise up a little bit. See if you can even out those hips, draw the left thigh in, use your right elbow to press the right knee out. And then I know for me, my ribs kind of start to pop out. I'm gonna knit those ribs back together. So for me, I start to flare my ribs out. I'm gonna bring that bottom rib in line with the pelvis, fire up the feet, draw it in. Relax the face, the jaw, little slight tuck of the chin to open up the back of the neck. And then start to lower that left foot down. Keep the legs here. And then just slide that right leg on top like you're crossing your legs. Arms come wide like a T. Roll the shoulders away from the ears. So they could be in a T, palms face down, or cactus arms, your choice. Exhale to let the knees fall over to the left. If you find your right shoulder lifting, you can stick a block or a book underneath the knees for a little extra support there. And then to complete the twist, we'd look over the right shoulder. And then inhale to unwind. And we'll uncross the legs and just let them shoot skyward. For candlestick pose, or some people call this legs up the wall pose. I have a hard time calling it that when we don't have a wall there, but legs straight up. Excuse me. When you're ready, we're taking left foot on top of right thigh. Left arm, so again, you look like that upside down 4. If you're in your regular pigeon, go ahead and switch on out of that. Taking left arm through the legs, and we'll hold on to the right hammy. Start to bend the right knees until the right toes fall out of sight. Exhale to draw it in. Use your left elbow to press your left knee out. Ground down your back, ground down your left hip. Fire up the feet. Drop your rib cage down. Relax your face, jaw, neck. You can relax those shoulders a little bit. Breathe. And when you're ready, we'll let that right foot touch down. Cross that left leg over the right thigh. So we're like our legs are crossed. And take your prop on over to the other side. Let those knees fall over to the right. If your left shoulder's popping up, block underneath the knees. Lovely. More about seeing if you can surrender here, as opposed to reaching for those knees to touch the ground. Nobody gets a trophy if your knees touch the ground. And seeing if you can relax the spine here, relax the belly. And then when you're ready, inhale to unwind. Unwind the spine, unwind the legs straight up. If you practice shoulder stand and you do not have a neck injury or glaucoma, or you're not pregnant, you may lift up, hold on to your back, lift up, legs go straight up. Fire up those legs, your toes. You want to point your toes or flex your feet like you're going to walk on the ceiling, or put your Barbie feet on, reach through the balls of the feet. Whatever you like, fire it up. Strong legs, breathing here. And then whenever you're done playing with that, we are going to slowly release. Let those feet float down as wide as your mat, and a little windshield wiper knee side to side. Take your time, no rush coming down. Bringing the feet are still as wide as the mat, and then let those knees just come in towards one another, breathing into that low back. And I like to bring my arms in cactus arms here to open up the low back, but then with the knees, but then open up the heart and the chest. And then when you're ready, squeeze everything in. Give yourself a big, well-deserved hug for showing up for yourself. Squeeze. And then when you're ready, we will surrender for Shavasana, your final resting pose. The most important posture of the practice. We allow the effects of the physical practice to take over all parts of the body. The physical body, the subtle body, the the mind, the spirit, whatever you like to call it. And surrendering here, seeing if you can allow the fingers and toes and thumbs to relax. The palms and the arches of the feet. And the arms and legs be heavy. The shoulders, neck, jaw. Letting the whole face be soft. And then bringing that awareness back to that third eye, right between the eyebrows. Creating space there, breathing right into that space. Your spot of intuition. Seeing clearly. And then relaxing the very top of the head. If your mind begins to wander, acknowledge that thought and then just let it go. Bringing your awareness back to that little tiny breath moving in and out through your nose. And staying as long as you like. I will slip out quietly. Because we're at home, we have the luxury of staying in Shavasana as long as you'd like. And I hope you have a wonderful evening. Namaste.